anybody's on yet. I was just thinking about, it's been a week. I can't believe that a week ago we didn't have power and we didn't have electricity at all in our house. It was crazy. And now it is like the most beautiful day. It's hot, but it's very beautiful. Morning. So anyway, I'm out on a dog walk and I was just thinking about all this stuff and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go live. Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my dog walk in my beautiful Lakewood Boulevard street. This is my favorite street to walk on. It's so beautiful in Lakewood. If you don't know about Lakewood, it's like the best kept secret in Dallas. I remember when I first moved here 28 years ago, and I lived in the village just like everybody else. I mean, I think that was like a rite of passage. I think kids are still doing it, except it's like triple what it was when I moved here. I heard it's really expensive. In fact, my daughter, I'm like, you should go live in the village. She just moved back home. She just graduated from Arkansas. Woo pigs, hogs, whatever. Anyway, it's expensive though. It's like really expensive. Like more than I pay for my mortgage. Anyway, but when I moved here, I lived in the village. And I remember coming here and everyone, I came from a small town in Louisiana where we didn't lock our doors. And I remember people saying, you need to you're going to get raped. Like it was just a fact. And so you need to, the minute you get into your door, lock your door and turn your alarm on. Like I was so petrified that there were woolly boogers everywhere that were going to kill me. It was crazy. And no, that never happened. I'm still here. And I never had anything scary happen in the village. It was delightful. They have a beautiful, now it's so gorgeous. This is not an ad for the village either, but I mean, it is beautiful there. Like they've got pickleball courts and restaurants and bars, and they're all outside all the time. It looks so fun. I really want my daughter to move there, but you know, she's going to do what she wants to do. But the point is, I lived there, and then I met the love of my life on a blind date at a Rangers game of all things. And I hate sports, and he loves sports, but here we are 28 years later, still married. I think that's what makes it work, is that we have nothing in common, so it's the yin and the yang. Anyway, so whenever we got married, we were like, where are we going to live? So we we rented an apartment downtown, and it was called Jefferson at the North End, and it was like at the very end, right where American Airlines is now, but nobody, like American Airlines wasn't even built. That's how long ago we're talking. And I remember saying to him, we should buy this apartment. Like, this is going to be big. But we didn't know, and we didn't have the money to do it either. So we were like, nah, we're not going to do that. So then we moved to this cute little, we built a house for like $200,000. And that was all the money in the world to us. And it was called the Enclave at White Rock. Wait, that's not right. The Enclave. I can't even remember the name. It's a David Weekley. And we got to pick, like we went to like a little design studio and they had a model home. But it was right at the spillway, right by White Rock Lake. So we went from downtown to there, and that's where we had two of our kids. But we really wanted to be in Lakewood Elementary because we had heard all about the schools. And I'm not a very good investigator. I just kind of like to watch and see what everyone's doing, and then do a little bit of investigation, and then go buy a house there. So that's what we did. We built a house on Ellsworth, which is a few blocks away from here. And it was like all the money in the world. We couldn't believe we were doing it. Our best friend was building it for us. And it was amazing. And we lived there for 5 years, had Charlie in that house. So At this point, I have 3 kids. And I just remember that being such a rough time. Like, so many, just, I don't even think I had people over at my house. Like, it was kind of crazy because I was so overwhelmed, so busy with so many kids and so much going on and just trying to figure out how to manage 3 children. And in the meantime, I got my real estate license. So I'd have to get up at like 5 in the morning to do it because I had no help. Our families don't live here. And we just didn't have the money to pay someone to come and like watch the kids while I got my real estate license. So that was crazy. That was a crazy time, but it was awesome. And then I got my real estate license. What was that, like 18, 19 years ago? And now here we are. But that street is so beautiful. It's got all these beautiful big houses, trees everywhere. See, now I'm not on the street anymore and it's hot. That's okay. We're getting this over with right before it gets too hot. So how's everybody doing? We have had the craziest couple of weeks. So Max came home. He had 3 weeks off for the summer, basically. And then he's a football player in New Mexico, so he has to go back and, start his training, which is so hard. So he got to come home for a few weeks, and we planned a trip to Mexico, and it was amazing. It was like the best trip. We were all 5 there, the 5 of us and Max's girlfriend, Mal, who became best friends with my daughter, the sister she never had. And they had so much fun. So anyway, we did that trip, and while we were on that trip, Stormageddon hit Dallas, Texas, and we were without power for 6 days, but 5 of them, we were in Mexico, so we were like, hey, it's okay. Luckily, the lady who watches our dogs brought them across the street. We had power, just not our street, which is just crazy because the taxes we pay in Dallas, Texas, you would think they could get that moving quicker. But anyway, it worked out fine. We ended up getting power. We got home at like midnight a week ago. And we had no power that night and then for 24 hours. And then the power came back on. And it was like, I've never been so happy to sleep in my bed with air conditioning. Don't think I didn't crank that mother down. And then this week has been so busy. I had a couple of closings last week that I've been working on for months. So that was wonderful. And I think I've just been thinking, like I've been reflecting a lot on the last year. A year ago, I had no clients. I had nothing in my pipeline. I was so stressed about my business. In fact, I was almost to the point where, should I just hang this up? Like, should I just not be a realtor anymore? Because, you see all these things on Instagram about these people slaying it, and I made this much in a week. Do this, and then you'll make this much in a week. And though I appreciate that, because it did kind of get me out of my funk, it kind of makes you feel like shit. And that's not good. Nobody wants to feel bad and be overwhelmed and like, oh God, what I'm doing is not working. Should I cold call more? Should I make some mailers? Should I go to more events in my area? Should I make up an event? I mean, it's so overwhelming because when you are a solo agent and you're a woman, it's like we kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like you put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect and do everything perfectly. And I've realized over the last year, like here I am on a dog walk looking like crap, no makeup. But when inspiration strikes, I just want to talk about it because I think that's real. And I think that's what we're missing in life and in business. I mean, especially as realtors, like we're just people helping other people find a new place to live. Like, let's don't overthink it. And let's also not like make it into, look, I can overcomplicate the opening of an envelope, so I get it. But I think when you simplify it down to this, and this is what I did a year ago, I was like, what do I want? Like, what do I want my business to look like? How many hours a day do I want to work? Who are the clients that I want to work with? Who, like everything down to the, what do I want to wear in appointments? Do I want to wear stilettos? Hell no. Do I want people who are, buying apartments? Or condos, or do I want people in Lakewood? Do I, I just got so specific on, oh, hey, hi, JoJo. I just got so specific on what I wanted. And there's something that happens energetically when you start putting out there what you want instead of what you don't want. I think we get so caught up in, well, I don't want that. I don't want to date that kind of guy, or I don't want to, put up with that with friendships, or I don't want to, I don't want to be this weight, or I don't want my wrinkles to be this way, whatever. We spin out all day long about what we don't want. And man, that's what you get. That is what you get. Because I was getting a lot of that. And it sucked. And I couldn't understand why I was getting that. But then when I started really researching metaphysics and reading books on it and realizing that I was asking for exactly what I was getting, then it all made sense. And I'm like, well, okay, if I don't want that, what do I want? And this dog, look at her. She just like wants to go run like to Fort Worth. Okay, let's sit for a second because I'm hot. So when I figured out what I did want, and I started really leaning into that, everything changed. Everything. I remember a year ago, or a little over a year ago, is when I stumbled upon, because that's what happens when you get really clear on what you want, things just start falling into your life and you can't explain it. And you're like, well, wait a minute, how did I just happen to find Amy Gregory when I had fever and COVID over Christmas last year? How did I just happen to find this other person on the internet who taught me how to do, reels? How did I just happen? These things don't just happen. It's energy. And I know this sounds crazy and woo-woo. It's not. It's physics, y'all. It's like whatever you're putting out there is what you're getting back. And if you're putting out like, I just don't want this. I don't want to have to work so hard. I don't want to have to struggle to find clients. I don't want to blah, 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 blah. I don't even like to say it out loud because that's what I'm going to get. So that's what I did. That was the first thing I did. I got really clear on what I wanted. How many hours do I want to work a day? Who do I want to work with? How do I want to promote myself? And I stumbled across Amy Gregory, who is now in my EXP world. And basically she had a course for $1,000 where she would teach us how to make reels. So I was like, you know what? If I make one commission off of that, because I'm in a price point where my commissions are, they vary. Sometimes I'll sell a $600,000 house. I just sold a $2.1 million house last week. So it just depends on, where I'm working. But the most wonderful thing is that I get to pick that. And it sounds so simple. It's simple. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But if you can get behind that and you can really lean into that, oh my gosh, I have found that the better I feel, the more I go for my walks outside, the more that I go and do nice things for people or write thank you notes. That was another thing I started doing a year ago. Okay, so let's just back up. Number one, get really clear on what you want and who you want to work with and how you want to feel, how many hours you want to work a day, how much you want to make. Get really clear on that. And I'm reading a book right now. It's called 10x is better than 2x. And it's basically talks about how it's easier to focus on making 10 times more because it's so unrealistic that you have to get rid of everything that doesn't serve that, which is a lot, like a whole lot. Like, for example, if you're still writing up your own contracts, or if you're still, if you don't have help, or if you need, if you're doing now I do all my own reels, all my own social media, so that's probably not a good example, but basically it's just saying that you need to get rid of 80% of what we do doesn't do anything for us. 20% of what you do is actually getting you the results you want. So that 20% is what you need to be focusing on. The 80%, you got to let it go. You got to delegate it, get rid of it. Bye-bye. Blow it up. And last week when I was reading this book, I was like, okay, what's my 80%? What did I make money on this year? How did I do it? And what do I need to get rid of? And I realized that it's social media. I know it's a broken record for me, but I'm just telling you, if you are not on social media right now and you have a business, you are missing out so much. I'm going to say this, and it's because it's true. A year ago, I had $0 closed. I had 0 people in my clients in my pipeline. Ooh, mosquitoes. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was just going to have to stop being a realtor or if there was something I needed to do. So I started leaning into social media. I started doing all the things that I was taught to do in this course. And all of a sudden, people started calling me. And they weren't necessarily strangers. They were people in my sphere who maybe our kids went to school together and they just didn't even know I was a realtor, even though I've been a realtor for 19 years. Or they saw me go through an open house and they're like, ooh, can I go look at that? Or they just, they were in my world somehow, but not intimately. And then once they started watching me and seeing that this is what I do and that this is what I've been doing for a long time and I actually kind of know what I'm talking about and I've been they started calling me like, hey, will you help me? Will you take me over to that place and show me that? Or I think we're ready to go ahead and list. I will tell you this statistic. People don't sit around and plan the listing of their houses down to the minute or like a year in advance. Most of the time it's a job change or it's we just had a baby and we're busting out of this house. I mean, people are very impulsive when it comes to their living. It's not as even keel as you think. Especially, I know for me it's not. I mean, I went to a party one night. I was on that house in Ellsworth that I loved, but it had no backyard, and we wanted to put a pool. We wanted a pool. We have 3 kids. Let's put a pool. Well, we can't fit it. So I just was like, oh, well, I guess we won't have a pool. I didn't even think to look for something. And then I went to Bunko one night at my friend's house, and she goes, that house across the street just went on the market. And I was like, really? And she goes, and they have the best pool. And we're walking distance from Lakewood Elementary. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have 3 kids. They're 6, 4, and baby, 2. And every time I go pick up my kids at school, I have to wake up my kid, and it's such a whip, and I'm working from home. Wouldn't it be cool if I could live right by the school and they could walk to and from school and I wouldn't have to go up there and pick them up? That was the phase of life I was in. This is how people make decisions. I'm telling you right now, because this is what I did. I called the agent. I went to go look at the house. I did not like any of the colors. I did not like anything about the house except the backyard. And I loved the location. So guess what? I made an offer, a contingent offer. I went home. I told my husband what I wanted to do. He's like, well, if you sell this house and we can make it work. We did a triple closing. It was insane. I've been there for 14 years. So I'm just here to tell you, it doesn't just like, people don't just say, oh, in 3 years, I'm going to plan to move. And this is how it's going to be so beautifully orchestrated. It's more like, hi. It's more, I'm just sitting in her front yard. She's probably like, who the hell is this girl? It's so much more impulsive than you think. So, and guess what? When those people decide so quickly that they want to move or they want to buy that house that just came on the market and they can't live without it, do you know who they're going to call? It's not necessarily who they used 10 years ago to sell their house. It's just not. It's going to be who they've seen in the last 3 days. In a mailer, on the sign in front of the house, or on Instagram. I'm telling you, this is how it works. I've seen it in real life for the last year. I've had people call me out of the blue who've never used me before, but who are in Dallas and say, oh, will you take me over to this house? I've been following you and I love what you're doing. Let's go. And I'm like, of course I will. And I'm not going to lie, it has blown my mind at the people who've come out of the woodwork and at the closings I've done. It has blown my mind. I used to get all my clients from open houses because I thought people need to meet me in real life, get my energy, see that, I'm the real deal. But how many open houses can you do a week? Really? And last year, when I was so stressed out and didn't know what I was going to do, I was like, well, I just got to go start doing open houses, I guess. And I did. But I was resentful. I was like, it wasn't a good vibe. And also I didn't get any clients because I was in bad energy. But when I kind of took the bull by the horns and I was like, okay, how do I want this to work out? How do I want to work? I want to work less hours and make more money, right? I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel every day. I don't want to go door knocking. So that is what I did. I started spending, hey, how are you? Good. I just went all in on social media because I knew that it was the best way to talk to people intimately so they can see what I'm like, see what I'm really about, and just bring them into my life. So many people didn't even know this is what I did. Hey, Coach Rob. Thank you for coaching Charlie this morning. So many people didn't even know I was a realtor. They were like, oh, I didn't know you did that. Oh, yeah, I've been doing it a long time. So I think all I'm trying to say is, if you're not on social media, y'all, it's time. And in the last few months, I've put together some group coaching that has been so much fun and has just been the light of my life. And I'm going to do it again very soon. I haven't even come up with the dates yet, but if you're interested, just DM me the word waitlist and I'll get you on the wait list because I'm going to be teaching this. I do a 4-week group coaching. Now, one thing I have come up with is that because I've done this a few times, I think I'm going to put that into a course that you can just do on your own time. And it's the live coaching calls. It's also the digital guide. So I have all these things that I can help people. And I would love to do that because I have seen, I went from 0 to 12 million in 1 year. 0 to 12 million in transactions. I can't even explain that. I literally cannot explain that. I did not have the audience. I did not have an email list. I didn't have anything. I just started getting on social media every day. And there's a science to it. If you put the reels together in the right way, you use the trending audio, you do certain things. I have it all down to a science. and you just spend, you don't even, in the beginning, you might spend an hour a day. I've got it down to like 10 or 15 minutes a day, and it will change your life. You don't even have to be a realtor. I think people just want to know that they're working with real people, and that when you get on social media and you get very comfortable, and it's, of course, the first time you get on, you're going to be freaked out and sweating and like want to vomit and not want to do it. And I used to want to like be full face of makeup and have my hair done and a cute outfit. Now, obviously, I'm over that. But it's all about being real. It's all about being a real person who works with real people, who has their best interest at heart. And that's really my whole goal in life, is to leave people better than I found them. Like, I really just want to spread a little joy, make people feel better, because when you're feeling good and you're doing things that make you feel good all day, and you've made your business into something that's fun, I'm telling you, this social media thing has breathed life into my business, into my relationships, into my confidence, into my world. I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I make better decisions because I'm getting social proof. And that's really all it is. I'm telling y'all, it's the key. So if you're interested in doing any of this stuff, I do have a digital guide. If you DM the word digital, I'll send you the link to that. It's cheap, and it'll show you just how to quickly get started if you want to get started today, because that's how I work. Just like buying a house, I'm like, okay, well, I think today I'm going to build a digital product, or I'm going to build a course or whatever, which is actually what I want to do today. Oh, go ahead. But anyway, does anybody have any questions? Like, I just love talking to people about this because I think it's so fascinating that we all have one of the most powerful tools in our pocket, and we don't use it. And I mean, think about, what are you doing every day? Let's say you go to work all day, and then you come home, and then you eat dinner, and then you sit on the couch. And even if you're watching a movie, everybody's got their phone and they're scrolling. Everybody in my family is. And I get so aggravated. I'm like, stop doing that. But it's a compulsion. It's an addiction. And so why not use it to promote your stuff, right? Like, why would you try to reinvent the wheel and not promote your things on something that everyone is doing all day long? Like, literally all day long. People, like, if you have a 9-to-5 job, you go on your break, you're eating lunch, you're scrolling. I mean, this is what people do, I'm telling you. So if someone is scrolling and they've decided yesterday that they want to buy this house on Lakeshore, who do you think they're going to call? They're going to call someone they saw in the last 3 days. This is a scientific fact. This is not, I'm not just making this up. It's true. And that's the kind of experiences I've been having. People are like, oh, I've been watching you and I like what you're doing, and I saw this house on blah, blah, blah. Would you go take me over there? And then it's on. Then you just get to shine and show them what you can do. So, my TED Talk is over. Not really. But if you're interested in being a part of my group coaching, I just love it. We meet once a week. We go through everything that I've learned over the last year. I think I'm going to make it even easier by putting it into like a course, so you can do it on your own time. And then when we meet in person, you can just ask questions. I also have this idea about how I want to talk to realtors about burnout and how to really get so clear on what you want your day to look like, because your life is just an accumulation of days, right? Like, you think your life is like, oh, we went on this vacation and we went to this place and that place. That's like 1 week of your life. The other 51 weeks of your life, or 50 weeks of your life, is what you do every single day. So why not make that exceptional? I've worked on that a lot over the last 5 years, and I really think that that is the key to everything. Because when I look at my life now, it's very different than it was 5 years ago. But I love it. I wake up every morning, I'm excited. I'm excited to work with the people I work with. I'm excited to do the things I do. It's like it's really breathed life back into my business, into my life. And that's what I want for everybody. I just want you to feel this way. I want you to be able to be proud of your business, be proud of your life. And just, some people just, I needed the tools to do that. So I was so lucky that, maybe you just stumbled upon me for a reason today. Even if it's just to think about, like, what am I doing every day that I really don't want to do anymore? Maybe it's time to delegate. Look, I never had a transaction coordinator in 18 years. I had an agent a few years ago who would kind of help me when I got really busy, like in 2020 and 2021. Thank you, Clara. You were amazing. That was the first time I'd even heard of a transaction coordinator. Look, when I got my license, I used a broker who was in Houston. He wasn't even in Dallas because he swam with my husband at LSU and he was a broker. And so I found out that I could just hang my license with him, and I had all these babies, and I was only selling like 1 or 2 houses a year. So I wasn't like full force going into being a realtor at that time. But I had to learn everything baptism by fire. Everything. Like how to write up an offer. By the way, I was handwriting contracts. Anyone? Anyone else handwriting contracts? I know all you young bloods are like, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. We didn't even have cell phones. We did not have cell phones. That's how long ago I got my license. And that's what's so crazy is, like, if I can do social media with my Rolodex and my handwriting contracts, anybody can. I'm telling you, anybody can. So when you have to learn everything the hard way, everything kind of is hard. And I just feel like when somebody comes into your life, and I've had so many of these mentors, some of them in real life, and you know who you are. Some of them, like, when I was really leaning into my money mindset, I love Amanda Francis. I love Denise Duffield Thomas. Francesca Amber is one of my favorite money people. There's just so many people. I'm going to sit here for a second. Who can help you? And why not? Why not try? Why not try something different and just see what happens? It can't hurt. And I just remember thinking I was so bitter last year about turn of events in my life and like things that I didn't get and why doesn't anybody want to work with me? Well, because I was a big old pile of ass. Like I was not in a good energy or a good space. Nobody wants to work with that girl. And maybe not. It wasn't like I was walking around being a giant jerk, but energy is everything. So I'm telling you right now, this is your sign to make a choice about how you want your life to be. And one thing in this book that I love, it's that 20X book. Oh, sorry, 10X. 10X is better than 2X. Go check it out. One thing in the book it tells you to do every morning is write a wants list. And I find this fascinating too, because especially for women, it's so hard. Like, I remember 5 years ago when my daughter went off to college, I couldn't even tell you what I wanted. Like, I had no clue, because my whole life I had been taking care of babies and putting their needs first and growing them into independent humans. And so I didn't even know like what kind of ice cream I liked, or if I wanted to, and I was always like this easy breezy, oh, I'll do whatever everybody else wants. But that's kind of bullshit. That's really not true. You know what you want. It just takes a lot. You got to peel the onion. And I've been peeling that onion for like 5 years. And it's kind of awesome, because now I know what I want. I know what feels good. I know what makes me feel good and happy. like walking these girls. Hi, girls. And being with my family, taking trips to the beach. I love working on social media. I love working with people. I love coaching people on social media. Who knew? 5 years ago, I would have never told you that that would even be in my realm of possibilities, because I don't think it was. I don't even think people were doing reels. That's how quickly things change too, by the way. So we go over all that in the course. It's so fun. But I encourage you to sit down every morning and write out a wants list. I was telling my daughter this the other day because she's in a transition right now. She just graduated from college. She's trying to find a job, a place to live. She's launching her life. It is so scary. I remember how scary it was. And I was like, I want you to sit down every morning and write a wants list. Write what you want your life to look like. Wake up in the morning. What does your bed look like? What does your room look like? What do your sheets feel like? Like, get so specific and write it down. Do you want a cup of coffee? Do you want a glass of water? Are you thirsty? And do it today. Don't do it like, oh, in the future, I want to go to Hawaii and I want a beach house. Yeah, I do that too. Trust me. That's on my list. But I do things today. Like, I want to figure out what to make for dinner tonight, and I want it to be easy. I want to go for a walk today, and I don't want to sweat to death. I want to figure out, this is one that I'm kind of thinking about. I can't believe I'm telling y'all this, but I want to start taking a dance class because I'm obsessed with dance, and dance was my life until I got to be a grown-up and thought I wasn't able to do that anymore. And now here I am, 52, and I'm like, I want to take a dance class. But not one that's so hard that I get intimidated and cry. I did take one with precious Andrea Billingsley, who is pretty much a professional dancer. And I was so intimidated in the whole class that I went home crying and never went back. But I've changed a lot since then. So maybe I won't give as much of a shit now, and I'll just go have fun and not take it so seriously. But think about what you want. Do you want to go lay by the pool today? Do you want an acai bowl? Do you want a green juice? Maybe you want to start doing reels on social media because you want to grow your business. I don't know. But how fun that we get to pick what we want. And it's all about the energy that we put out there. And I'm not joking. When I get so clear and I get so when I get just really clear on what I want, things start to fall into your life and you will be blown away. Like blown away. I almost think sometimes I'm being punked. I've been invited on trips. I'm going to go see Tony Robbins. That has been on my bucket list for years. And then one day in Powerhouse, my wonderful EXP that I'm obsessed with, so I won't even, that's a whole thing I could get into. But basically, they had a rep from Tony Robbins come and coach us for an hour and a half on just one of our Tuesday calls, just because that's what you do on a Tuesday. I never did that on a Tuesday with any of my other brokers. And then they invited us to go and gave us a discount, and I signed up. Girl, don't think I didn't sign up lickety split. That is something I've been wanting to do forever. He has come to Dallas so many times, and I've never had the balls to do it. And then it just fell into my lap that they came to our call and they gave us a discount, and I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. So I'm taking Scott. Oh, and it's our anniversary. He's going to be so thrilled. And it's in New Jersey. Let's go to New Jersey for our anniversary. You're welcome. He's so excited. He has no idea. No, he does know. I mean, I told him. And he was like, we'll see. But I'll work on him. I have some time to work on it. But I'm going. That was on my list. That has been on my list for years. For probably 5 years. 6 years, 7 years. And now I'm going. Like, it really can be this simple. We really can choose what we want to do with our life. And we're just so afraid of the power that we have, of the energy that we really do have in our lives. It's crazy. I mean, I know I was. Like, stuff would happen and I'd be like, wait, am I a witch? Like, this happened to me in Mexico. I was saying like a little prayer, like, oh, show me, if I'm on the right path or if I'm doing the right things. And then literally my phone rang on the beach, which I normally wouldn't answer, but I was like, okay, this could be a sign. And it was an agent, an EXP agent, telling me that she had a referral for me. A $2 million referral. Like, I can't make this stuff up, y'all. I cannot make this stuff up. And it's all about energy, and it's all about getting so crystal clear on what you want and not being afraid to ask for what you want. And also not being afraid to receive it. That's another thing that women do, is that we won't receive. We just say, oh, no, thank you. I don't need that. That's too much. Or I'm asking for too much. Or I shouldn't want that. That's being ungrateful for the life I am. That's bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Lies from the devil is what Amanda Francis says, and I love that. Lies from the devil. It's lies from the devil. You can have whatever you want. If it's a desire in your heart and in your life, it is from universe, God, angels, whatever you believe in. That's why it was put there. Because it's meant for you. You wouldn't have it otherwise. You don't have a desire to like go murder somebody. No, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, oh, I have a desire that I would like to make enough money this year to go on vacation with my family. Because that's what I started out with. I just want to take the pressure off of our family financially. I want to make some money to go on some trips, to pay for my kids to go to college, to pay for my kids to go to camp. That's how this all started. And also I wanted to list my husband's houses. And now it has grown into this thing that I still just can't believe at all. It's amazing. I just keep sitting in people's yards and they're probably like, that girl is crazy. Anyway. Thank you. Aw, thanks. They're hot. We're taking a break. Oh, yeah. I know. Oh, they're about to pass out. I know. That's why we're taking a little break. See why I love Lakewood? It's the best. People here are awesome. I'm just sitting in their yard and they're like, oh, love where I live. Anyway. Oh, by the way, if you want to move to Lakewood, call me. I can help you. All right. What was I talking about? Yeah. It's just, this is your sign. This is your sign to go make your wants list. And be unabashedly unafraid to write what you really want. Nobody has to see it. Nobody but you, God, universe, whatever you believe in. Nobody has to see it. Just you and the higher power that you believe in. Or don't believe in. Whatever. But go do it. Promise me you'll do it. And if you do it, will you DM me and let me know? Because I'm telling you, this is the first step to getting what you really want. Yay. Well, anyway, thank you for coming to my very long TED Talk. If you are interested at all in doing group coaching with me, I'm going to start probably in the next couple of weeks. I'll do it 4 weeks. And we meet once a week on Zoom, and it's so much fun. We have a little dance party, do a little meditation, do all the things. Get really, really clear on what you want and also how you want. It's kind of about really just getting the confidence to get out there and tell people who you are and what you have to offer them. It's all about service. And if you back it with service, then the sky's the limit. The opportunities are literally limitless because you're helping people. I mean, isn't that what we're all here to do? It's all about love. You can either focus on love or fear. There's two things. That's it. Love or fear. And if you're not in love, then you're afraid of something. And so I like to say to myself, okay, what am I freaking out about? What am I afraid of right now? And why do I think I can't have it? Disprove that. Let's go. All right. Anyway, I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. If you want to be in my group coaching, comment the word waitlist. And if you want to get started today on it, I have a little guide. You can comment the word digital. I'll send you that. It's like 47 pages. It's really good. It's cheap. It's less than $50. You get one listing off of that or one closing. I mean, come on. That's like a no-brainer. Oh, I also have a social media calendar that I put together. You can have that for free. I think, let's see, I think the word was reels. Try to use the word reels, and I'll give you my free social media calendar. And that'll just, it takes the thinking out of it. Because I like to automate things and make systems, like having a TC. I now have a VA. Who is she? And oh my God, she's amazing. And she does not do my social media, but she does a lot of back end things for real estate. She helps me with just all kinds of things. So I think I need to get out of these people's yard. But if you want to know all my tips and tricks, comment the word waitlist. Let's get this party started. Okay. Have a beautiful day. Love you.